Hey everybody, this is Sheena O checking in with another Myotropics 2.0 blog update. Yesterday I posted a few pictures of a waffle that I had made onto my Facebook and Twitter accounts, and I got a lot of feedback from people who wanted to know the recipe. If you've been following the Myotropics updates from some of the other bloggers, you'll see that everybody's trying to come up with their own cool way to incorporate the Myotropics into their diet and into their regimen. Some people made cookies, some people made, coffee, some people made pancakes. So I was really in the mood for a waffle, and I decided to try to incorporate the protein powder into my waffle recipe. What I typically do is use an almond flour. Now, I make the almond flour myself. You can pick some almond flour up from your local grocery shop, but I think this is a really easy way to just go and make your own flour and not have to spend the money on the prepackaged kind. And if you have some raw almonds lying around the house, maybe a big old bag, and you're tired of just eating handfuls of them, you can make your own flour. So what I did is I put a half a cup of raw almonds into a food processor. Really simple. Having this cool handheld processor, which makes it really easy. Considering I'm nowhere near a cook, I heat water up. I make eggs in the microwave. I can make tuna fish really well, and I can steam chicken. Other than that, I try to keep it really simple. So when I got this is pretty cool. I mean, this is about as much as I'm going to do with it. Maybe chopping up like onions and peppers or something like that for an omelet. So like I said, a half a cup of almonds, really simple. Go ahead and give it a few blasts. It's going to be pretty loud, so cover your ears. Really simple. There you go. Okay, so we have the almond flour. Now, you just go ahead and pour the batter. Actually, it's not batter yet. So just pour the flour. I'll go ahead and get all this from around the edges. Into a measuring cup. And there you have it. So, makes about 2/3 of a cup of actual flour. Once you have that done, basically just want to add your eggs. So I use 1 whole egg and 2 egg whites. So that's basically 3 egg whites and 1 yolk. You can go ahead and then just, flavor it up, your cinnamon, your vanilla, and of course the main ingredient, second main ingredient, the protein powder. I just used a scoop of it. Even though the serving size is about 2 or 3 scoops, 1 scoop is enough. It's about all you need. You can, use more or less depending on your flavor. This gives it a nice cocoa flavor. So if anybody likes to put chocolate chips or something in their waffle, that's really cool. I'll be right back. I'll get the eggs. Okay, so I'm back. A few other dry ingredients, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and shake in a few shakes of the cinnamon. I really like cinnamon, so I kind of, I tend to be liberal with it. You want about half a teaspoon of baking soda. I was going back and forth with one of my girlfriends yesterday, trying to remember everything that I had used, and I didn't know, the difference between the baking soda and the baking powder. The recipe that I got offline called for baking soda, so I'm using the same recipe. I'm just adding the protein powder into it. So actually, let me get my measuring spoon too. Half a teaspoon. So this is a half a teaspoon. away. You want about half a teaspoon of salt, too. That's probably a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. That actually just helps to bring out like the flavor and everything. Oh, and of course your vanilla. You can be a little liberal with the vanilla, so I'll do a teaspoon. Maybe a teaspoon and a half. Okay. And of course the eggs. 1 whole egg. Boom. 2 egg whites. Easy. For those of you who don't know how to do that little method, you can always just, crack the egg and pour it through your hands. Just don't like getting the egg all over myself. Even though I just did all over my fingertips, so now I gotta wash my hands. Ooh, now mix it. You can use your whisk if you like. I'm old school. Use a fork. And depending on how thick it is, if you like your batter a little bit thicker or thinner, depending on how heavy you want your waffle, you may need to add another egg white or even a little bit of water. I think I'm going to add another egg white because of the protein powder. I like to play it safe, so add things along the way instead of putting everything in from jump. I like to kind of take my time and see how everything plays out. You never know how the ingredients are going to react one day to the next. Depending on like the weather outside, if it's too hot, if it's cold. I'm not going to get into the science of it all, but you can't go wrong with 2 or 3 egg whites. All right, so we have a nice batter here. I wish I could let you see the consistency of it. But that looks pretty good. I like my waffles kind of thick. If you like them a little bit lighter, you can always add another egg white. And of course, trusty Pam. Keeps everything as fat-free as possible. So you want to go ahead and just spray take a few sprays and spray it on the waffle maker, which I have a nice little thing here that I've been using to hold up my phone. Let me just get that out the way. And I'll show you the waffle maker. So there you go. So the waffle maker has been heating up. I'm just going to put this on the other view. You can do. I guess you can't change it once you start. Anyway, so there is our waffle maker. A few sprays. And of course, the batter. So let's see if I can put this on. There we go. Let that do its thing. I'm thinking we're gonna go about 2 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes. The waffle maker should be able to bake it up nice and golden brown. So let's take a few minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. And what you don't want to happen is this. Yeah, that's not pretty. But at the end of the day, at least you know you're going to have a nice, big, heavy, hearty waffle. So maybe cut down on the recipe. Maybe instead of using a half a cup of the almond flour, just use maybe like a quarter of a cup. Maybe just 1 whole egg, 1 egg white. You're going to have to play around with it, but it's all good. I mean, you just cut around the edges and you're fine. So if you have any questions, leave some feedback, leave some comments. If you have a better recipe, please let me know. Or if you have any tips on making the waffles, let me know. Like I said, I'm not a great chef, but, try to make it work. So thanks so much, and you know, make sure to check back in with me.